Katrina says, yay. She's got the sorcerer. I love it. I am ready. All right. Well, I am ready as well. Let's go ahead and get kicked off here. All right. So today we are discussing Ascension symptoms. Got a hell yeah from Gabriella. Journey. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. So what are Ascension symptoms? So I'm going to give kind of two. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. Namaste. Sending light and love your way. Feel these blessings. I appreciate you. I heard my inner voice tell me my life purpose is to ascend. Yeah, that's why we're here. Been so tired. Well, we're going to talk about that. All right, guys. So let's get into Ascension symptoms. I've got two explanations. One is the more esoteric, and the other is the more simple, practical explanation. I'm a big fan of the KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid. So I like to break things down and just keep them simple and practical. So on a simple, practical level, what are Ascension symptoms? You are receiving an energy upgrade, essentially. That's what it is. Now, why would that be? So what is the reason that that's happening, or the mechanism behind how that is happening? So this is where we move more to the esoteric. So a lot of people in the spiritual community call this the age of Aquarius, or the age of spirit into matter. And so the earth right now is being bombarded by light energy, light codes, light upgrades. It's called a light influx. A lot of people say that this started around November of 19, and I can definitely relate to that. There was a massive energy shift around that time, and the energy has been very palpable and intense ever since, to say the least. So why would this be? It's because the earth is ascending. Now, one of the theories that I subscribe to is that the earth is a sentient being. It's not just some rock, because everything is consciousness, right? We live in a soup of consciousness. We are conscious creative centers living in a soup of consciousness. Omni-consciousness is source. So Mother Gaia is a sentient being, and the earth is ascending. So just the same way that the universe is going to bombard you with an increase in light codes and downloads to help you ascend, get out of alignment, what is out of alignment with love, it's going to do the same thing as itself, as Mother Gaia. So it upgrades you, the universe, because the universe is also you. If the universe upgrades your light capacity, meaning your cells are able to hold more light, then the universe can express itself through and as you to a greater degree. This is the same reason that the earth is experiencing these light downloads. Which, what happens when you shine the light on things? Well, the stuff that was in the shadow, in the darkness, come to light. And they're usually in the darkness because they're more in alignment with fear, and they're out of alignment with love. And since love is the dominant frequency of source, we're going to shine a light on those things and integrate those things into love, the higher frequency. So you see this happening on the world stage, clearly. And you also see it happening in your personal life as well, so that you can ascend. These words, ascend and all of that, it's very esoteric, but practically what does that mean? Well, it means you're stepping into alignment with the reason that you decided to incarnate. The reason that you decided to incarnate is not in vibrational congruence with fear. I can promise you, your decision to incarnate was not to be a people pleaser. It was not to chase validation or seek approval. It was not to be codependent on a toxic relationship just to ease and soothe your abandonment trauma. So these things have to be brought to the light, out of the shadow. The shadow's where we're repressing and not looking at things. Light has to be shined on it so that it can heal. The definition of heal is we're taking the higher vibration of love, applying it to the lower vibrational frequency of unhealed trauma, and integrating it, raising it into our more dominant frequency. We don't make an enemy of the shadow. We don't avoid the shadow or separate the shadow. This is duality, which creates an internal war, internal division, which is resistance. You can't ascend if there is resistance. So let's dig into the nuts and bolts of why you get these ascension symptoms. So I'm gonna go through the list of ascension symptoms. But what you may not be aware of is that there are very positive ascension symptoms, which a lot of people don't talk about. They only focus on the physical ascension symptoms. So we like to be positive here at Lightway. So I like to give you information that's going to empower you and give you something to look forward to, essentially. So why do you feel all of these physical ascension symptoms? So our energy body is receiving these light codes. It's being bombarded. Now, it's very easy for our energy body to just adjust its frequency upward and match these light codes, this higher frequency. Just think about how you feel after a really good meditation. Think about how you feel after a walk out in nature and being mindful and present. Your vibration rises. This is your energy body. It's very easy for the energy body to rise. But the physical body is more dense and has a little bit more of a task to raise in frequency. And this is because of the density that it's holding. Now, I want you to understand that the physical body is also energy. It's been proven by quantum mechanics. You can look at things on what's called the Planck scale. Everything is energy. It's just the denser energy, the physical energy, physical matter is just very tightly compact energy. But on the smallest scale, it's energy nonetheless. And there's a lot that say energy is intelligent. Energy is conscious. So what ends up happening is your energy body tries to ascend and adjust to this higher frequency, but the physical body has to recalibrate to try to get to this higher frequency. Well, if you're holding stuff that is out of alignment with that higher frequency, meaning you're holding a lot of stuff that's in alignment with fear, unhealed trauma, stuff like that, it's going to anchor you down. So your physical body is trying to ascend, but you have to purge the things that are out of alignment with the dominant frequency of source, which is love. So if we said that everything is energy, then that means the physical cells of your body have consciousness. If they have consciousness, they're holding on to things that you are holding on up here, right? So they're holding on to things like unhealed trauma. They're holding on to things like shame, guilt, abandonment trauma is in the cells of your body. These are things that need to be purged so that the cells of your body can hold more light and you're able to ascend. So this is where ascension symptoms come from, because your body is constantly trying to purge what no longer serves and recalibrate to match the higher frequency of your energy body as your energy body is ascending. And it's very taxing on the body, and not just in the form of those cells that are holding those things, but you're being forced in your life to physically remove the things that no longer serve you. So while this great awakening is happening, this ascension process is happening, you're getting maybe a gentle nudge or not so gentle nudge from the universe to get rid of that toxic relationship or get rid of that job that is a dead-end job, or to stand up for yourself, speak your truth, set and defend those boundaries, honor your self-worth, honor your self-love, and respect your own divinity. And the more that you avoid those things, the more the universe is going to keep bringing those things around. Generational trauma and programming. Absolutely. You break that generational trauma when you heal your trauma. I like to say the buck stops here with trauma. Heal your trauma, and now you've healed your future generations, right? You've broken that chain. So this is why ascension symptoms happen. It's very taxing on the body. You know, an analogy that I like to use is you've got your energy body, you've got your physical body, and the energy body is like the personal trainer, right? The energy body is going to take you to the take the physical body to the spiritual gym. You know, they're going to hit some PRs, they're going to do some sets, and your spiritual muscles are going to go into hypertrophy so that they can rest, recover, and then come back stronger. So you can kind of look at your energy body as giving you a workout. This is why you're fatigued. This is why you're drained, because your energy body has you in that spiritual gym trying to purge what no longer serves and raise your light capacity so that you can ascend. So that's a little trick to not allow the ascension symptoms to overwhelm you, because if you're looking at it like, oh, I'm building my spiritual muscles, you know, we're going to the gym is good for you, right? It's healthy for you. So it's healthy for your light capacity in the spiritual gym, the same it is in the physical gym. It's healthy for your physical body. So that is the reason behind ascension symptoms. I will go to your all's questions before we go through the list of ascension symptoms, because the thing about ascension symptoms, there's physical and then there's esoteric ascension symptoms, which gets very interesting. So do you guys have any questions on why ascension symptoms occur? I see some new faces. Jessica Carmona, welcome, my friend. Thank you for showing up. Oh, Kathleen Miracle. Hey, it's been a while. Great seeing you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. Hey, Glinda. Grand Rising. Yes, absolutely. Boundaries are important. Yeah, you're respecting your divinity when you defend and set your boundaries. And, you know, the only people that are going to be upset that you have boundaries are the ones that were taking advantage of it when you didn't have boundaries. So you probably don't want them in your life anyway. That's actually kind of hard to say. It depends on the situation. Maybe they just need to be, you know, educated on how to respond lovingly. You don't necessarily need to kick them out of your life. I mean, you know, unless it's abusive and toxic. Spiritual gym. I love that analogy. Jamie Cara, hey, welcome, Jamie. Great seeing you, my friend. How many sets do we do in the spiritual gym? Until you can't do anymore. You have to do 4 reps. That's where the growth happens. Aaron Shepard, hello. Welcome, my friend. Severe stomach aches related to the solar plexus chakra. I actually haven't heard that before. Seems like it would be more related to the sacral, if anything, because it's a little bit closer to the lower stomach. I have to think about that one. You stumped me on that one. Because obviously there's a myriad of other things in the physical that could be going on. I don't know, you know, what your stress levels are like, what your diet and exercise is like, what's happening. Is there a tower moment? You know, there's a lot of things. When my DM is not well, I feel all the symptoms. Yeah. Twins are telepathically linked. It's the same soul in 2 different bodies. But this is not a twin flame video, so I don't want to get into a bunch of twin flame stuff. Does meditation help with the symptoms? Absolutely. And that is one of the things we're going to talk about, how to relieve ascension symptoms. So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's a great segue. Let's get into the ascension symptoms. So as I mentioned, there's the physical symptoms, and then there are the esoteric. So the physical symptoms. Hey, 3 times without messing up. So the physical symptoms of ascension are going to be fatigue, feeling drained, just run down. And this is because the body is working overtime to try to raise its light capacity. This is called the purging process. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the beginning, but this is the purging process of the ascension process. So you're purging the denser energy that no longer serves. So when you're purging, it's like a cellular detox, so to speak. So that denser energy it takes the body a lot of work to release the things that no longer serve. Oh, there you go. May need detox. Yeah, so it's like a cellular detox. Let's talk about some of the esoteric things that happen with ascension symptoms, because a lot of people focus on the physical. These are actually very interesting, because as your, what I like to call your home vibe or your default frequency rises, there's going to be a much higher level of vibrational dissonance to the things that are out of alignment with love, basically. There's a much higher level of vibrational dissonance to the things that are in alignment with fear, whether it's fear of abandonment, fear of not feeling worthy of love, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being accepted. That higher vibrational level of dissonance is going to cause a higher level of discomfort. What do humans love to do when they are uncomfortable? They look for ways to get comfortable, right? You want to get back to that energetic homeostasis, and that's going to force you to heal or cut the things that are no longer serving your highest good, the things that are no longer in alignment with you living your life purpose. So, one of the symptoms is going to be a lot of anxiety and this fear of impending doom right over the horizon. You don't know what it is. You just have this feeling like, I don't know what's going to happen. I just know something is going to happen. And there's all of this fear. Here is what's going on. When your vibration rises, this tends to open up the heart chakra more. The desires of your heart in your heart chakra, the reason you decided to incarnate, the energetic house of those reasons are in your heart chakra. Those become more active. It sends out a signal. That signal hits the potential timeline where you are actually living your life purpose. You're actually living the reason that you decided to incarnate. And now that timeline becomes aware of you. It's a higher timeline, higher than the timeline that you're currently on. So that higher frequency that timeline is giving off is being picked up by your energy body, but it gets filtered through the ego. Now this is the issue, because the ego doesn't know matters of the existential, doesn't know where this frequency that is a bit of an anomaly, it's an outlier of your usual energetic spectrum. And so it processes it as anxiety and fear. Why would this be? Because the ego believes that if it doesn't know something, that's a threat to survival, right? And then red alert, stop, there's a threat to our identity. We're going to die, fight or flight. You're immediately into survival mode. And this is where that anxiety comes from. It's not a bad thing. It's not doom and gloom. It just means that the desires in your heart have linked on to that higher timeline and is picking up the energy from that higher timeline, and the ego doesn't know how to process that. The ego believes that you staying in your sandbox means safety. The ego attaches your identity to all the things that the ascension process is trying to purge. The ego says your identity is a people pleaser. The ego says your identity is being worried that someone's going to abandon you. The ego says that your identity is not being worthy of love. The ego says that your identity is not being good enough. That's our identity. That's all I've ever known. No, there's a threat to the identity, and then the ego throws you into fight or flight. The ego has no idea that on the other side of that comfort zone is your greatest version. The ego wants to play in the sandbox with the version of you that people pleases. The ego wants to share its toys with that version of you that keeps that toxic relationship just to ease your abandonment trauma. But your higher self, the universe, source says, nope, time to ascend. And so the ego, in charge of identity, is going to fight, kick, scream, because it believes that holding on to its identity means survival. And so this is why you feel like there's some impending doom. on the horizon, this is where all of the anxiety comes from, because your ego doesn't know how to process that higher frequency coming from that higher timeline where you are living the reason that you chose to incarnate. So this is where you just want to kind of settle in, tell the ego, I got this. We're good. The ascension process, as we just mentioned, we're in the spiritual gym, right? It's for our greatest version. And we just want to trust the process. So this is where a lot of that anxiety comes from. And it's not just an esoteric thing. It's your physical life. Because as your home frequency rises, there's going to be so much discomfort with the old version of you, meaning the old friends that were, gossiping and negative Nancy's and always talking about people and, and what did you do in the past? That old behavior was to just, go along with them and, join in the gossip and join in talking about people. That old version of you was seeking approval. That old version of you was seeking validation. And now what's happening is, because your home frequency is higher, your heart chakra is higher, that means your sense of self-love is higher, your sense of self-worth is higher. All of that unhealed trauma behavior is way out of alignment with self-worth and self-love. And now you get very uncomfortable being the old you. And the ego is like, well, I only know the old me. I don't know anything else. Danger, danger, survival mode, fight or flight, pump you full of adrenaline and cortisol. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm having a panic attack, So this is one of the things about ascension symptoms, is it's not just the physical or the esoteric, it's also your life. The things that are out of vibrational resonance with love, with the dominant frequency of source, with the reason that you actually decided to incarnate, that vibrational dissonance is going to be so high that it's going to force you to act. This is why ascension symptoms can be so scary, because you're facing your fears. You're being forced to face your fears to find some level of homeostasis and comfortability. I don't know if comfortability is a word, but some level of being comfortable again, because that old self was so uncomfortable. That old identity no longer resonates. And this is typically where, your friends and family and, that old dogmatic religion and that old job that just, it pays the bills, but it's killing the dreams in your heart. You hate commuting. You have this sense of service to others. Why would you have a sense of service to others? Because, again, that heart chakra level is opening. You're stepping more in alignment with love. Love doesn't believe in competition. Love believes there's more than enough for everyone, and love wants to spread that light. So you get more of that service to others, and you may be in a situation, or not a situation, but a job where it's not in service to others, and your heart is just like, this is not who I am. And in that moment, you kind of realize that you are living inauthentically. And because authenticity is more in alignment with love and out of alignment with fear, there's going to be so much discomfort with that inauthentic job or friends or lifestyle or whatever. You're going to take action to find that level of comfortableness again. Is comfortability a word? I'm trying to find, how do you find your level of comfortable? I don't think comfortability is a word. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Did that resonate with you guys? Man, there's a lot in I missed a lot, didn't I? Perfect timing, going through my add-in tune ATM. I actually don't know what that is. Very uncomfortable, I must say. I made it. Hey, Missy, good seeing you. We need to stop being the body. We are not our bodies. Yeah, our bodies are not our identity. We have a body, but we're not the body. Oh my God, I'm so much happier on the other side of it. Yes. Ben, my man, what's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome. Ben is awesome. Crystal says, I'm so glad I found you. You answer my questions within a couple of days of them coming to me. Thank you, David. Maybe the universe is getting the message that you need through me in some way. I'm glad you're getting the message that you need. Christy, great analogy. Thank you. Susan, I got monkey mind big time. Yep. It's hard to shut it off. Focus on your breathing. Center into your heart space. It's when you say monkey mind, bypass the mind, go to the heart. I feel amazing, says Latasha. I feel great. It was tough, but I'm here. You're greater and stronger than you know, my friend. Absolutely. Never doubt your light. Brooke says, thank you so much for explaining everything so beautifully. I have to run. Oh, replay later. Awesome, Brooke. Thank you for stopping by. I've cut all the gossipers. It no longer aligns with who I am. Yep, that's what happens. Everything you're saying, I've experienced. Thank you for confirming I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. Your ego will make you think you're crazy because the ego doesn't have the answers. And when the ego doesn't have the answers, it thinks there's a threat to survival. It's intolerable at this point. Go within. All of your peace, happiness, and joy are within. Do your shadow work and trust in God. Ascension is in alignment with the will of God. Well, you are God having a physical experience, so your will is the same as God. But when you get into alignment with love, you can't be out of alignment with Source, God, whatever term you want to use for it there. But we don't make God a dualistic thing. Shadow work is key, yes. Danger, absolutely. It's a word now. Oh, uncomfortability? I'm going to write a letter to Webster's. Grounding is honestly so important. Absolutely. Yep. You can do that on an earthing mat. You can do that out in nature. I've been connecting with the Syrian collective lately. Awesome. I once thought I was Syrian. I found out I was Andromedan. They really opened my eyes to the 3D reality and who we truly are. Absolutely. Meditation helps so much. I can't overstate the importance of meditation, guys. Thank you for the videos and help. You've helped me so much over the last few months. Light and love. Valkyrie song. I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. All right. So let's see here. Let's see. What do you have to say about smoking and drinking? Is this the ego? Will this hold me back with ascension? You mean ascension? When smoking casually. You know, I'm not here to be the, the good behavior police. But those things are going to fall by the wayside naturally as you're ascending, because when you're putting lower vibrational stuff into your body, as your frequency rises, there's going to be a much higher level of vibrational dissonance, which means you're going to be way more uncomfortable with putting lower vibrational stuff in your body. So that alcohol and that smoking isn't going to have the same effect, the pleasant effect that it had in the past, because in the past you were lower vibe, you had a higher tolerance to it, you were more in vibrational congruence with it. But the more you get out of vibrational alignment with it, the more it's just going to naturally fall by the wayside. So let's see here. Let's talk about how to relieve the ascension symptoms. So first we'll talk about how to relieve the physical symptoms. Oh, you know what? I kind of forgot to mention some of the other things that happen as your vibration rises. Remember when I said the heart chakra opens? Well, your higher consciousness chakras open. So this is more of an active third eye. You get more sensitive to shifts in energy. You get more sensitive to other people's energy. That third eye opens. You start seeing all kinds of number signs, and you start getting premonitions. This is where your clairs come online: clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairolfactance, arcane scent. And so things get very interesting from there. And that throat chakra also becomes more active and raises in vibration, and you begin to speak your authentic truth. And this is when that vibrational dissonance with fear, you got to understand, you become more authentic when that throat chakra is more active, because that desire to speak your truth gets stronger, and fear is the barrier to expression. So now there's going to be so much discomfort and resistance with not speaking your truth. That higher activated throat chakra is going to cause you to stand up for yourself, assert yourself, speak your truth, and really not care about judgment from speaking your truth. So these are some of the beneficial esoteric symptoms of ascension. That crown chakra, is going to be more active. You're going to receive more downloads. You're going to be more connected to the universe. And someone mentioned the Syrians. This is where you might start getting downloads from whatever your cosmic lineage is, or you're more in touch with your spirit guides or your angels or whoever you work with on the other side. So it's definitely a beautiful thing. So as far as how to relieve ascension symptoms, we'll talk about the physical first. I like to start with what I call the Holy Trinity: body, mind, and soul. I know soul is not, technically the physical body, but the soul is in the physical body. It's a small percentage of the soul is in the physical body. The rest of the soul is out here, but it's all intertwined, right? So when we're talking about relieving ascension symptoms for the physical body, something that's very simple that everybody overlooks is staying hydrated. This is going to sound silly, but a lot of people either don't drink water, don't drink enough water, don't pay attention to how much water they drink. And something very easy that you can do is Google for your body weight how much water you need daily. It's very easy to do. And then you just commit to that amount of water every day. Our bodies are something like 60% water. Now, think about it. If your cells are trying to detox, wouldn't it make sense that if they were more hydrated, they can kind of flush that that denser, lower energy out of the cells? And the body is going to be able to be much more efficient and work better when it is hydrated, right? So hydration. Number 2, eat high vibrational foods. Get away from, processed junk food, refined sugar, alcohol, smoking, and a myriad of other drugs. These types of things, first of all, they're downers. But especially if you're trying to ascend, why would you want heavy stuff in you? Why would you want downers in you, right? If you're trying to raise your vibration. So that's just kind of would make sense there. But taking care of your body is going to be a natural, positive physical ascension symptom, because all of those things are no longer going to have the pleasure and effect that they once had. So, for example, let's say that you have a McDonald's meal or something. When you used to really love it, now all of a sudden it sits in your stomach for 5 hours and doesn't seem like it wants to digest. You've got this gut bomb, right? Or maybe the smoking and the drinking just doesn't give you the pleasure that it did before. Now it's very uncomfortable and really hurts your spirit when you do those things. So the more your vibration rises, you're going to naturally move into those things. And you want to trust the process and follow that energy. If that stuff doesn't make you feel good anymore, then go with that. Go with what makes you feel good. Don't do that. Right? So now I do want to mention one of the things that has really helped as far as the third eye is concerned is super green powder. So you can add this into a smoothie, but most super green powders have spirulina and chlorella, which is really good for opening the third eye and just really decalcifying that pineal gland. So definitely get some green superfoods there. exercise, not just in the spiritual gym. And you don't have to go to, an actual gym if that's not your thing, but energy hates to be trapped. Energy loves to move. And a lot of times when people are struggling with anxiety, they're struggling with trapped energy. They're struggling with stagnant energy. And so when you have a physical release, you're able to let that energy go. Energy doesn't like to be trapped. And you're keeping your body in better shape to be able to handle that purge. Now, someone else also mentioned grounding. This is awesome. Getting out in nature, putting your feet in the grass or putting your feet in the stream, being present being mindful in the present. I noticed the chats have stopped. Am I still streaming? So on my side, they've stopped for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. I had to hit refresh. Okay, you guys are back. I wasn't sure if I was still streaming or not. All right. So just take care of yourself. Get enough sleep. Try to see if you can get that 7 to 8 hours. Your body just needs the rest. It needs the hydration. It needs the nutrients. It needs the exercise to efficiently purge those cells of what no longer serves. So that's the physical side of things. Now, when we talk about mind, how do you edify the mind? How do you feed the mind? Read high vibrational books, watch high vibrational videos on spiritual awakening or whatever it is. But remember, the cells of your body have consciousness. They're eavesdropping on what you're telling yourself. They're eavesdropping on what you are feeding yourself. And a lot of the things that you feed yourself subconsciously become your identity. Are you binge watching, the ID channel, all the murder stuff? Is that your identity? Are you programming that fear into you? Or are you watching high vibrational stuff, right? So you want to edify your mind and feed your mind with good spiritual stuff. Now, as far as the soul is concerned, you've got to carve out a daily stillness practice. You got to get serious about your me time. This is because all of your power is within. And if you are not in the present moment, you're not going to be able to center into that peace. You're not going to be able to center into that clarity. And you can center into the present moment, even if you're not a big meditator or you have issues with the monkey mind, as one person said. You can just find 5 to 10 minutes to be still and then list some things for which you're grateful. Gratitude is awesome for centering you into the present moment. Gratitude is a subset of the dominant frequency, which is love. So gratitude puts you in an open, receptive state, which means you're not in what? Fight or flight, right? It's hard to be grateful and in fight or flight at the same time, right? So when you center into the present moment and you're grateful and you're just counting your blessings, as they say, then you're going to get into the center moment, and anxiety comes from being off into the future. So you want to center into the present moment, give thanks for what you've got, and give thanks that the day has already gone the way that you want it to go. That's kind of the trick to manifestation. You give thanks that it's already done, so you're adding gratitude and past tense together. It's not on the way, it's not going to happen, or I know the universe is going to bring this. No, it's now. You give thanks, it's already done. When the brain stamps it as done, there's no question of deserving or worthiness or passing some cosmic test. No, it's already done. The hows are the domain of the universe. Let the universe figure out the hows. Your job is to just give thanks, it's already done. I mentioned earlier that remembering that the ascension process is a process. If you can, when you're going through ascension symptoms, if you can tell yourself that it's just a process for your greater good, and this is what you're feeling is normal, then you're going to get through it much easier. And what you want to do is you want to be eager to see that new version. What is that new version going to look like? That new version that is living the life that, the reason that you decided to incarnate. That new version is not people pleasing. That new version is believing in themselves. That new version does not believe that they have to get love from a certain person or bring love from somewhere or attract love. They're identifying as love. And when you identify as love, you're sharing the same space as love. You're not putting some idealistic person up on a pedestal and basically saying energetically, I'm not as high as you, I'm not as good as you. That's a vibrational mismatch, and then love can't share the same space. To take people off of a pedestal, you're God having a physical experience. No one can be better than you, right? Source just is. No one is better than you. So take people off of their pedestals and identify as love itself, and then love will effortlessly share the same space with you because you're just sharing the same space with another fractal of yourself. Birds of a feather, right? So that's what your new version is going to look like. That's a very free and authentic way to live, because as that home vibe raises, as I said earlier, that self-worth raises, that self-love raises, that understanding of your own divinity raises. And then you approve yourself. You validate yourself. And when you're not trying to get something from somebody else, you're not sending out a needy, clingy energy. And then what's a vibrational match is just able to share the same space with you effortlessly. So in that moment, you're flowing with the energy. You're swimming downstream. You're going with the current. It's a flow state of receptivity. Does that resonate with you guys? Thank you for saying about super greens and the third eye. Yep. I drink that often and skin looks amazing. You know what's funny about the super greens is my nails go, I hate having, nails that are, too long, but my nails grow like crazy when I drink the superfood. So ladies out there, it's good for your nails. We can hear you. Awesome. Listening mostly. I made it. Hey, Marcella, great seeing you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Counter moves. Yeah, I'm not sure what counter moves is in relation to, but it reminds me of any time that you want to change a behavior, do the opposite of the behavior you're trying to change, right? Go in the face of fear. If people pleasing is your thing, stop people pleasing. Just see what will happen if you don't seek their approval. And you'll see that you don't die and you're okay. And you're proving to your ego that there's no threat. It doesn't need to seek validation and everything is perfectly fine. You validated yourself. And then that becomes your new behavior pattern. Think positive and positive things will come. Your inner world creates your outer world, 1000%. Tai Chi, yes, I love Tai Chi. Also Qigong. Qigong is an awesome morning routine, guys. You're just manipulating energy and moving energy around. There's a really good move in Tai Chi where, Qigong, I get those two mixed up, where you're kind of internalizing everything that you don't want to hold as kind of like this dense gray matter, and then you breathe in and then you just push it out, and it goes down into the earth, and you just get out everything that you don't want to hold, and then you bring in some white light, and you're just high vibing, and it's good stuff. Yes, Journey, yes, very much. Birds of a feather. Proud to be a DF owl. Okay, cool. Love it. When you try to change habit, your ego sends counter moves. Yeah, it does. And that's because the ego is trying to protect the identity that you're trying to. So when we say ego death or spiritual identity crisis or killing the old ego, I always like to follow it up with ego birth or birth of the new identity. You're just making room for the new identity, and because the ego views that old identity as its job is to protect you. It believes you are that old identity, so it's going to fight tooth and nail and try to self-sabotage to keep you from changing. But your greatest version is on a higher level, is on a higher comfort zone. So you have to get into this little level in between of being uncomfortable to get to that new comfort zone where you're out of alignment with the old identity that was keeping you from living the reason you decided to incarnate. It's me. Hey, me. How are you? What do you think about a sudden increase in the physical senses and seeing the unseen, learning a wealth of information in a short period of time? Yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, these chakras from the heart up just come online, including your third eye. And yeah, you're going to see some things. You might start lucid dreaming. You might astral project. You might start seeing shadow people. You might start seeing colors. You might start just feeling different presences around you. You might start, you could be sitting on the couch meditating, and all of a sudden, it feels like something is running across the cushions, or something sits next to you. So it gets very interesting. Does shadow work help in the ascension process? Thank you, my friend. I love it, love it, love it. Yes, 1,000%. Shadow work is at the core of any spiritual evolution process, because you're healing and integrating what is out of alignment with your authentic truth. Your authentic truth is in alignment with the dominant frequency of source, which is love. So everything that is out of alignment with love and in alignment with fear, unhealed trauma, fear of abandonment, fear of unworthiness, fear of not being worthy of love, whatever it is, when that stuff is healed, then you're able to step into the timeline where you are living your greatest version, speaking and expressing your authentic truth, living the reason that you decided to incarnate, because you don't have fear weighing you down. Remember, fear is the barrier to expression. So when you heal what you fear, you're able to express your authentic truth. I love Qigong. Absolutely. High vibing all day. Absolutely. A new, healthy, balanced ego is born. Absolutely. And I just want to reiterate that it is an integration. So whether it's, the old identity or it's shadow work or whatever, you never want to make an enemy of that old identity or an enemy of the shadow work, because that's internal division. It's actually a mild form of self-hate, right? A house divided against itself cannot stand. So you take the higher vibration of love, apply it to the lower vibration of that old 3D identity or that shadow, and you raise its vibration into your more higher dominant frequency. So you want to integrate and not separate. You don't want to look at that shadow as an aspect that's something wrong with you. You want to have the perspective of curiosity and openness. What are you here to teach me, right? And then that brings your resistance down and takes you out of fight or flight. And then you invite that shadow in. Hey, where am I out of alignment with love? Where am I in alignment with fear? What are you here to teach me? And that allows you to step into an accepting role of healing. And the healing process is much easier because you're not in a state of resistance. Resistance stops the ascension process. So invite those shadows in, invite those challenges in, and get the lesson from it. Nothing is here to punish you. Nothing is here to torment you. It's all for your understanding of what you actually are by living with and experiencing the contrast of what you are. That's how you get to understand what you actually are. You can't understand you are non-physical unless you live in the physical. If you were only non-physical, you wouldn't really have an understanding of what you are unless you were in the physical, you see? So it's learning through contrast. I feel so much sensation in my head. Yeah, one of the things about raising your vibration is there's like a tingly there that starts, and it's picking up all types of different energy. How can we use super consciousness to reprogram what the ego used to tell us, worth, being, good enough, etc.? Shadow work, 1,000%. Love shadow work with the new unconditional love you hold in your heart for yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're looking at the shadow with kind of an open curiosity, it softens your perception towards that shadow aspect. So you don't want to judge the shadow. Shadow just solidifies and hardens that shadow, which is the opposite of integration, right? So you soften your perspective of that shadow with a attitude of curiosity and openness and what are you here to teach me? First, I was disturbed by the Ascension symptoms as I was worried something was wrong with me. Now I just enjoy it. Yeah, go with the process, guys. It's just a process. It's here for your highest good. When you understand that it's the process, you're able to release control. Control is resistance. This is why the ego freaks out, because the ego can't control the ascension process, because the process is higher than the ego. It's coming from source. It's coming from the universe. It's coming from this download that the ego, the ego wasn't in on the memo. The ego didn't get the memo as far as when you're supposed to wake up on your timeline, who's supposed to help you with that awakening. The ego didn't get the memo that you were going to go through all of these ascension symptoms and the dark night of the soul. The ego didn't get the memo that you were going to try to destroy its identity by healing shadow work. The ego wasn't around in the non-physical, right? The ego wasn't in on the plan in the non-physical. It's only after you incarnate that you get the ego. So the ego is odd man out, right? So now the ego has to try to jump from one foot to the other to try to figure out what in the heck is going on. And that's why you feel like you're going crazy, and that's where the anxiety comes from. It's just because the ego doesn't know. But what you can do, I always say this, the heart knows. Why would the heart know? Because the heart is love, the dominant frequency of source. Your higher self, source, your spirit guides, they all contact you initially through your heart space. Why do they do this? Because they're bypassing the ego. The ego is going to filter their insight, typically with fear, or might not even be present enough to receive that insight. Because if the ego is off into the future and you're not in the present, you're not able to get the insight because you're not in the present. You're not in your heart. So when you're feeling like you're going crazy, where would you feel like you're going crazy? In your head, right? So get out of your head, go to your heart, take some deep breaths, close your eyes. I always like to put my hand on my heart just to have that palpable feeling right here, so it's easy to keep my conscious awareness here. And then feel into the feeling of your heart. Interpret that feeling. What is the heart saying? Is the heart saying that there's doom and gloom? Is the heart saying that you're going to die? Is the heart saying that you need to be fearful of something? Probably not. I don't know what your heart is saying, but I've never experienced my heart saying any of those things. Matter of fact, my heart will usually say the opposite of the ego. Why is this? Because love and fear are two opposite vibrations. So if you're ever having a tower moment, choose love. Tony Murdoch, surrender. Thank you. Yes, the power of surrender. Absolutely. The power of surrender. And you're surrendering to the knowing that the universe always has your highest good in mind, because the universe is also you. The universe's goal is to express itself through and as you to a higher degree. The universe can't be against you because it would be against itself. So anytime you step up to the plate and say, hey, I want to, heal my shadow trauma, I want to birth a new identity, the ego's like, boom, yeah, let's do this thing. And it will send you all of the people, places, and things that are in alignment with your highest version. So you can surrender control, trust the process. It's the ego that wants to control. Put the ego in the child's seat in the back, or have them go sit at the kiddie table. You get into the driver's seat. You surrender control and just follow the energy. The universe is always, it's like a GPS system. The universe is always going to reroute you if you happen to miss your exit or take a wrong turn. You can't get it wrong, guys. Sometimes during meditation, it feels like a ball is in the corner, or in the center of my head. Yeah, like right here. Oh, we got a Titan. Which side is he on? There he is. Titan Ways. Say hi. He's going to get his own channel, guys. I'm scared to give him his own channel. He might act a little too Hollywood on me. Or some of you guys in the comments are saying he might start acting bougie. What was I saying? Yeah. So do you mean here, like your crown chakra, or do you mean in your third eye? What's interesting is, if you meditate with a crystal, I meditate with my purple amethyst on my head. Yes, I know everyone's going to think that that is very weird, but crystals are transistors and transducers. Anyway, they receive and transmit energy. So you can, when you're meditating, you've got your crystal. It's easier to transmit. That's the word I'm looking for. Energy into your body temple through your chakras, and usually you'll feel a pressure like right there on your third eye. So it's really good stuff. Let's see here. You won't know what good is unless you have experienced bad. Yeah, contrast. I'm not crazy about those types of labels, good and bad, because then we start getting into religious words like good and evil and stuff like that. But they're just different levels of frequency. And, everything is source. So source is all of those things. So you want to get the lesson from what is what we're calling bad. What is the lesson there? How do we learn from it? I now see people's auras all the time. Awesome. That's awesome. I tried doing that. So there's a few techniques to do that, and it just kept coming up with the same color for me. So I didn't think I was doing it right. Shadow work helps you grow. Absolutely. I had a lot of heaviness in my head for the last 2-3 days for no reason, and today something happened. What is shadow work, meditation, yoga, gratitude, journaling? You've got a laundry list for me, is that it? That might be a lot to answer, and we're at the hour right now. So in a nutshell, all of that stuff is going within. All of those practices, shadow work, meditation, yoga, gratitude, journaling, all of that stuff is present moment, now moment, going within, going into the heart type of stuff. You always know you're on the right track when you're going to the heart. You're so wise. I'm proud of you, David. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Tony. Light and love to you, my friend. Titan ways. Yes, absolutely. The little house I've been renting the past 10 years sold. I have to move out by July 1st. I'm calm, going with the flow. I know something better is coming. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a situation where it would be very easy to allow your mind, your ego, to go crazy because the ego is in charge of survival. So obviously not having somewhere to live is a threat to survival, right? So the ego is going to go crazy. But what you want to do is you want to center into your heart space. And when you're in your heart space, this is where you can connect with your spirit guides. Your spirit guides know the next move to take. Invite them in. Hey, I invite in my spirit guides. What do I need to know for my highest good? What are my next steps? And when you ask these questions and you're present enough in your heart to receive the answer, you might get that aha moment. Things are going to come. If you're trying to stay calm, trying is resistance. You identify as calm. Calm is your identity because that's your spiritual DNA as source having a physical experience. Source is absolute peace. I am peace. I am calm. You get out of fight or flight, and then once you're out of fight or flight, you're in that receptive mode to actually receive those answers, that next step, that next action step, the insight from your spirit guides. And then you'll notice momentum. Momentum will happen next. Oh, look at you guys. Katrina, thank you very much, my friend. Light and love, love and light, good mojo to Katrina Hughes. Marcella, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Since you put a cat there, I'm assuming that's a tip for Titan. Titan says meow. Thank you, Marcella. I appreciate you, my friend. Well, we are over the hour. Let me see if I can answer a couple more of these questions you guys have so I can give you guys the most value. I love to give value. Let's see. Heart says, I need to heal it. I feel. You got to heal it to feel it. Yeah. And if that's what your heart says, you need to heal. I do that. I like putting my amethyst on each side of my head. Nice. Yeah, it's amazing because you feel, it almost feels like when the energy comes through, it's kind of like almost like there's like an insect or something walking on your head. It's very like little legs or something. It's very interesting. I don't know if you get that with your crystal. Crown. Okay, so you were feeling the pressure in your crown. Good. Yeah, so if you haven't already, you probably have some downloads on the way. I prospect all my own from my back creek. You'd be amazed what I found. Gold, 2, still seeking that diamond in the rough. Awesome. That sounds fun. Crystal says duality. Duality, that is the illusion. That's what we're trying to integrate from. Rather something good only that happened. I get tingles in my third eye all the time. Absolutely. Yeah, tingles are that pressure going through polarity to unity. Yes, absolutely. Unity is the ultimate truth. I always say, I don't know what the problem is, but unity is the answer. And the problem is usually duality. So ebb and flow. I am cool. I am calm. Absolutely. What is the role of the twin flame journey in Ascension? The twin flame journey, the role is to wake you up, to have a spiritual awakening. So your twin is going to shine the light on your unhealed trauma so that you heal it and step into the reason that you decided to incarnate, so you can express your authentic truth. You can live your greatest version. That's the number one priority in the eyes of the universe. Riding off into the sunset with your twin flame comes secondary. So just remember, it's really more about the spiritual awakening. Because if you put all of your, hopes and dreams on this person you've got up on a pedestal, it's codependent and disempowering. So make sure that you're doing the shadow work so that you have an inner sense of completeness and an inner sense of love, and you don't need to, cling on to somebody to get it from the outside. You should see all the crystals I sleep with. Nice. I bet you're high vibe. I felt that when meditating with the crystal on my head. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? They teach you self-love and self-worth and self-respect. Kickstarts your spiritual journey to oneness. Absolutely. I did feel the little legs. Yeah, what's funny is when I got my first piece of Moldavite is one of the most powerful crystals that you can get. I actually got a visitation from my deceased father and then my deceased uncle, and all kinds of crazy stuff happened when I got the Moldavite. But when I first got it, I put it in my hand, and it felt like there was this little bug just, swirling around in my hand. Wow, with that said, I think my husband is my twin flame. I thought it was my karmic that healed. Only you know who your twin flame is. So just your heart will tell you who your twin flame is. And there's no doubt. There's no doubt when someone is your twin. That's not a question that you need to ask. You know who your twin is. My twin flame journey. Okay, I guess we're going to get into all the twin flame stuff here. My twin flame journey had me messed up at first. That's usually what happens. But it fast-tracked me to my awakening. Absolutely, because you went within. Let go of the outcome of being with your twin is the key. Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. You don't know so when we talk about whether or not you're supposed to be together, if that's in your all's agreement before deciding to incarnate, if that was your soul contract, then that's what'll happen. But you get there by doing the inner work and healing, and it sparks a spiritual awakening that allows you to step into your spiritual sovereignty, identify as love itself, heal the trauma that may have you seeking your twin's validation or seeking your twin's approval or chasing or clinging onto your twin, because there's an inner sense of incompleteness and a low sense of self-love. And once you heal that, it gets interesting as to whether or not you still want to be with that twin, because typically an older version of you attracted that twin. And once you heal the trauma that no longer needs validation from that twin, a lot of times you get out of that bubble phase and realize that that person may not be for your highest good, especially if that person is not healing their trauma. So that's where things get, a little unbalanced. If you're healed and they're unhealed, healed trauma and unhealed trauma have a hard time sharing the same space. But the beauty of it is when you heal your trauma, your identification as love and self-love goes to this level, and now you actually attract a more harmonious, beneficial love. You guys have this twin flame thing up on a pedestal, like that's the highest love that there can possibly be. I mean, don't forget about soulmates and, all of this type of stuff. The twin flame is not the only thing, guys. So, when you heal the trauma that is seeking validation from that twin, you raise up to this level, and there might be someone at that level that is a better love for you in the long term. Look at all this stuff coming in. Hey, you guys. Thank you, Aros999. I appreciate you. I needed to hear that, David, about not putting people on a pedestal, even your twin. You know what? Let me get into that, actually, and I thank you very much. But this reminds me, there's some, as far as putting things on a pedestal, there's some twin flame bubblegum theory going around. And apparently this is a thing, because this has happened in like 3 or 4 comments now, where someone will say, if your twin intentionally hurts you, they're not your real twin, they're a karmic. No, I'm sorry. You can't just strip someone's title because they hurt you. Your twin does hurt you so that you'll heal the trauma that attracted a hurtful, abusive person into your life in the first place. Now, you guys, stop having this, and I'm not talking to you specifically, but the people that are writing these comments, that if your twin abuses you or intentionally harms you or whatever, they're not really your twin, they're your karmic. This is bullshit. And the reason that is bullshit is because everybody expresses love through unhealed trauma in different ways. You can't just strip someone's title of being a twin flame because they hurt you. That's so that is the type of person that has this image of a twin flame up on a pedestal where there's white light coming out of their head and there's a halo and there's some white wings and they're levitating. This is phony BS twin flame theory. Your twin flame is not perfect. Why? Because your twin flame has unhealed trauma, and everybody expresses differently through unhealed trauma. And then the person responded, oh no, because when twins meet, they have a spiritual awakening and then they heal their trauma. No, because healing trauma is a process. You don't instantly heal your trauma as soon as you meet. Moreover, you don't heal your trauma evenly. Usually one heals trauma and then the other doesn't heal a trauma, or, doesn't try or tries a little bit or whatever. So there's an imbalance of unhealed trauma. So yeah, your twin is going to hurt you. Don't have this idealistic thing that, oh, my twin won't hurt me, and if he does, then he's a karmic. You guys with the labels, stop doing that. That's not directed to anybody in the chat, but I've had people in the comments, so apparently it's a thing, kind of put this bubblegum theory that if someone hurts you, they're not your twin. Your twin is not this perfect angelic thing with white light flying out of its ears that is never going to hurt you. That's BS. That keeps you romanticized, that keeps you codependent and disempowered, stuck to this romanticized pulp culture thing, and you never find your power because you're always obsessing over this other person instead of looking in here. In here is where your power is. In here is where you grow, right? So, sorry, I had to rant because some of the stuff that people believe keeps them disempowered. This channel is all about empowerment, and I've got to speak out when I see just BS that people are believing that's keeping them disempowered and codependent. Hope you guys like that. I'm just being real, guys. I'm going to keep it with you 100 because I want to see you empowered. Aaliyah, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you sending love and light your way. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. Lovely to be here again. Rejection, wounding, triggered in the last 2 days, but prepared this time. Yeah, so rejection is fear of not being accepted, fear of not being approved. This is where you do the inner work. Look back in childhood. and just see where might you have been rejected and what type of wound that caused, right? And then you want to go back and kind of heal that wound, apply love to that wound. And you want to apply love to that memory and realize that you are whole, complete, the absolute embodiment of love. You don't need to worry about rejection because you approve yourself. You accept yourself. The external doesn't matter who accepts and who doesn't accept, and no one cares. You are a divine, sovereign being. You approve and accept yourself. I hope that helps, my friend. Uh-oh, I see all I see all the twin flame comments blowing up now. Oh my goodness, there's a lot here. Keep speaking, David. You're helping these women. I tried to explain the same, but they listen to you as a DM. I appreciate that. I just, I try to, and I'm not going to throw shade at other channels, but, I see these thumbnails. I did a parody tarot video, DM to DF, as a parody to get you to wake the frick up. DM to DF, yeah, heal your trauma. DM to DF, yeah, stop obsessing over me. DM to DF, focus on yourself. DM to DF, find your value, find your voice, right? That's DM to DF. But I see these other channels, DM to DF, I'm leaving my karmic. I can't stop thinking about you. Oh, is my DM thinking about me? DM to DF, I made a mistake. I'm coming back. DM to DF, I'm finally leaving my karmic wife. Guys, I'm not going to throw shade at those channels. They've got. I mean, I'd have 100,000 subs if I made that type of content. Trust me, because I look at the numbers that the Twin Flame videos do, and they're 5 times more than a regular spiritual awakening video. But I don't want to feed your obsession. I don't want to keep you codependent and disempowered. I'm going to give you empowering information. I'm going to tell you how to get through the dark night of the soul. I'm going to show you how to find your self-worth. I'm going to show you how to find your voice. I'm going to show you how to find your value and step into your actual identity as source having a physical experience. What does that mean? It means you're 1,000% whole, complete, and perfect. And when that's your identity, you will attract the same, and you'll stop obsessing over some other person. Like I say, I don't want to throw shade at those types of channels, but I want to put out empowering information. I was going somewhere with that, but I lost my train of thought now. So it's probably best that I that I CTFD for a minute. Keep ranting. They need to hear it. You know what? I'm going to say one last thing. So this is for anyone that is in twin flame separation, okay? I saw a meme that said, Prince Harry gave up his royalty, his family, and his country for a woman. If a man wants you, he'll find a way. Mic drop. That's all you need to know about twin flame separation. If your twin flame has been telling you for the last 3 years he's going to leave his karmic and hasn't done it, he ain't. If your karmic is telling you he's going to divorce this, other woman, he's going to divorce the karmic and come to you, he's been saying that for 5 years, yeah, stop. Look at what Prince Henry did, Prince Harry, right? Mic drop. That's it. And I can tell you as a man, if a man really wants you, he'll find a way. That's it. So stop, obsessing over what he's thinking. Is he coming back? Will he unblock me? You're just keeping yourself codependent and disempowered. And that's not the reason that you decided to incarnate. You did not incarnate to be disempowered and codependent and obsessive, right? You incarnated to live a life of happiness, freedom, and power. This is your world, guys. Your beliefs create your world, okay? Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe no one is better than your twin, then the universe says, and so it is. It is done. I'll never meet anyone like my twin. Don't be a twin flame lifer, guys. Life is too short to be codependent and obsessed over some other person that doesn't want you. Hope I wasn't too harsh there. It's a little bit of tough love, but you need it. I'm not here to put out the bubble gum because bubble gum is not going to empower you guys. Good Lord, look at that time. All right, guys. I got my rant out. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I did, David. You are correct. Beautiful. Thank you. I had experienced so much rejection in my life. It's hard. Still working on healing it. I love you. Trauma bonding. Love it. I love the parody. Good job, David. That's why you stand out. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, my friend. I'm glad I found you. You're helping me grow. Awesome. Thank you, David. Love it so much. Love being a subscriber of yours. I appreciate you, Gabriella. Thank you for being here. Say it loud, David. Yes. 100%. He will come to you if he wants you. That it's that simple. And that's why I stopped chasing my twin or not, doesn't matter. Yeah, guys, don't be addicted to the label. You know, people want to, because you've placed some cute label on somebody, you want to overlook abuse, emotional manipulation, mind games. Oh, well, no, it's my twin flame. I'm on this noble journey of love. I've got to just, give him time to, find my value and love me the right way and find my worth. No, stop. Done. Don't get obsessed with the label. Perfectly said. Wow, I needed to hear that. Perfectly said. I'm glad you guys are resonating with it. I know a lot of the DM to DF viewers that watch those type of channels, they probably won't like what I'm saying, but it is what it is, guys. I'm not here to sugarcoat it, because sugarcoating is not going to empower you. It's going to keep you obsessed and codependent, and you're not here for that. All right, guys. We went way the heck over an hour, 20 minutes. I love every one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the live, and I appreciate all of the support you guys have given. I really appreciate it. Of course, donations are not expected at all, but they're certainly appreciated, and it lets me know that I'm actually helping you guys. So I'm sending light and love to everyone in the channel and the chat. I'm actually going to Ho'oponopono you guys. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Do you feel your vibration rising? We love Ho'oponopono on Lightways here. All right, guys. Everyone, have an awesome day. This has been awesome, and we will do it again next week. Can you guys let me know if you like this day, Thursday, or on Fridays better? I have to see what the numbers are like, but does this number work for more of you than Friday? I'm just trying to experiment with different days to try to get a little bit more views. By the way, any of you twin flamers out there that resonated with what I said, please feel free to share this video with other people that might be going through the twin flame separation and are just addicted to the twin flame pulp culture, and they're addicted to the terminology karmic and union and non-reunion and all this type of stuff. Please share it. One, it lets the algorithm know that you guys want this type of content out there. But two, it's going to help empower people that are ready to hear it. Now, if they're a lifer, they're probably not ready to hear it. But hopefully it'll plant a seed, and then they'll start doing the inner work. All right, Thursday works.